4 o'clock.
Is it 4 o'clock? Okay. I'd like to call a meeting to order. This is a special meeting, Bella Vista City Council, February 1st, 2023. Appreciate you all showing up in such difficult weather. We'll start by taking the roll.
Craig Honchel.
Here.
Doug Fowler.
Here.
Larry Wilms.
Here.
Jim Wozniak.
Here.
Wendy Hughes. And Jerry Snow absent today.
And the mayor's here too.
And the mayor.
Yes.
Here. The clerk, the
Yeah.
tiebreaker.
The clerk is here.
I say that because the mayor counts towards the quorum. I just want
Yeah.
to be.
Oh, so for in this case, okay,
So
Mayor
we- well-
Flynn, present, okay.
The quorum's present.
So you could get by with three
You can.
Yeah.
councilmen
Mayor.
and the mayor, huh?
Yeah.
But
Wow.
it still requires 4 votes to pass anything, so it would have
So
to be,
We have to
everyone would have to be in
make sure
agreement,
that the
including the
mayor's on
mayor.
board with that.
It was Wendy dropped out today because of icy driveway. I was quizzing our attorney what the exact number was we needed, because we're getting close.
Yeah.
You know, we're down to 4 at the best, so appreciate you, that's why I said I appreciate you all coming. Okay, you know, we have one business matter here, and it's authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into a contract change order with Manhattan Road and Bridge Company in the amount of $39,181 related to unexpected required utility line relocation for the Mercy Way Bridge project. And Emily Guffin is here. I thought she might be able to give us a little explanation about it.
Yeah, so I think you guys all have a copy of the change order, or the work directive order right now that shows the cost of the utility relocation as well as the diagram of what they're relocating and how that will fix the issue that they've discovered. The reason this was not identified back when we were doing utility relocation estimates with our engineer was because surveyors typically only look at the above ground features, topographical features, and don't actually look at the different elevations of utilities underneath the ground. And these two utilities are at the exact same depth, which is the reason why we have to go and do an additional utility relocation that was not addressed during our utility relocation phase. The cost of $39,000 seems to be in line with cost estimates that the cost estimates in the area, so it's not incredibly high. And the POA water is agreeable to Manhattan doing this work for them. In fact, they did not want to do the work themselves. They asked Manhattan to do it for them, and so Manhattan is doing it for them. We could look for additional bids to see if we could get something cheaper, but as we keep delaying this, the project will ultimately continue to be getting delayed. And so the best course of action for our engineer for construction services is to agree with this change order and go forward with Manhattan doing the work.
Is this in the budget, or are we gonna have to find $39,000?
Great question. So I believe I gave you guys all a page that shows the Mercy Way budget status as of right now. And so there are 4 columns. The one on the left side is the budget, our current funding for this project as of right now. Second to the left is our current expenditures. And we're pretty much on track within the budget. And then third column is our forecasting, which shows that we are going slightly over budget in a couple phases, and that includes the right-of-way and utilities phase, as well as the construction phase when we include this change order. And so currently we are about $41,926 over budget, meaning that we do not currently have funding allocated for that amount. However, this change order is eligible for reimbursement if we were to go back to the funding pool and apply for more funding. In which case, if we did receive that funding, we would be on the hook for 20% of the $41,000 cost, so approximately $8,000. But that's under the assumption that we would be awarded funding.
But we are gonna
Yes,
pursue it.
for sure, absolutely. No, that's no guarantee that we would get it.
Gotcha. So did we, yeah, I'm sorry, you know, the total budget that was all laid out, did we have monies built into that budget just in case we did have situations like this occur?
We do not have any additional funding. in our
I know
budget right now.
we don't now, I know, but we didn't build any in with the whole
So the,
entire project.
so the project budget design did not include any contingency, is that
There you
correct?
go.
That's correct,
Okay.
yep.
Poor planning on our part. Actually on our consultant's part. I have a couple of things to say, and they're not very positive. I saw this and my smoke was coming out of my ears. When I looked at the plan, the original construction plan, it seems to suggest that the water line is going right underneath the structure, which is in the middle of this new picture here. So they either didn't have the location very well, or their plan was very poor that they presented on their construction documents. But to me, the water line existing went right underneath, or very close to underneath the structure. And to me, as a designer, they were remiss in not anticipating a relay of piping in that area. In this part of the country, water lines are shallow, so if you put in a structure like an inlet box or a junction box or a manhole, this is a junction manhole that is a problem. You need to, it needs to be, first of all, going to be probably 3 to 4 feet deep from top to bottom, and so if the water line is shallow, it's going to go right through the water line or be interfering with it. Certainly the pipes coming in are 18-inch, not small diameter, but larger diameter. And by the time you're done excavating those with some cover on the top, you're going to be down in the vicinity where that water line exists. And so you can see that it crosses to the east, going towards the bridge. It crosses to the south, where they're reconnecting with an existing structure. And so those two pipes interfere, which means that they have to relay this. In the original construction plan, it suggests that that water line is almost going underneath that junction manhole there. So to me, the designer was remiss in not anticipating a relay of this and proposing something to be done at that time. So my proposal to you is that first of all, we're going to have to do the change order. It needs to be done. The water line has to be relocated. It can't remain. So the work has to be done. My proposal to you is that we approve half of it, with the other half coming from Burns and McDonnell.
Well, we can't make them pay for it as we sit right here. I mean, that has to come with, that's part of the budgeting. So the authorization we need is to enter into the agreement. So you're basically saying that you don't want to enter into the agreement unless we know they are going to pay?
I feel that they are remiss in their design duties in the design of this system of storm sewer,
Okay.
knowing where the water line was located.
All right, so.
And that they should have proposed something in the documents that would have been bid and not become an extra.
Okay, well, we will need to sue them in order to make them pay for that.
They have to. And I've been on the other end of this business several times, and I've ended up having to share with the owner.
My recommendation is, you've got to do the work, and that's what's authorized here.
Right.
Pursue, let's look, for the next regular meeting, or to pursue appropriate actions to address why we're having to do this and how it's going to be paid for.
Okay.
Does that make sense? And you really can't lump it in, because we're not going to approve anything. If you say we're only going to approve it if they pay for it, because we'll be here a year from now not knowing whether they're going to pay for it, and the work has got to be done, so. That's my suggestion, but it's up to the council.
I should mention that the reason we're having this meeting is because it's more than 35,000. And, I don't want to have special meetings when we don't have to, but our regular meeting wasn't until February 27. And, the the timing of this project and it moving along, I felt it was important to have a special meeting quickly and so they could keep moving on the project.
And I guess I understand the councilor's advice, so I would make a motion that we approve the change as presented, and that we pursue sharing the cost.
Can I just ask a question real quick? Let's just say that the engineer, whoever designed this, would have caught that, would have seen it, wouldn't have been remiss, in your words. Would it have resulted in a higher cost in the estimate to do the water like it's proposed right here?
It's hard to tell whether it would show up or not, and it would have been a part of the total bid package. So everyone would have been competing for that particular work along with the rest of the work. So it may have added to the total cost of the contract, but it may not have.
Okay. Okay, so you made a motion to approve, right?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Wait,
You gotta
Or
roll call,
read it.
roll
need
call.
to ask if there's any further debate. And
Yeah,
then
any
you can
further
call a
debate?
roll,
Sorry,
And then call a roll.
any further debate? Okay, Wanda, you can call the roll.
Craig,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes.
and Jim.
Yeah.
Motion passes 4-0.
Mr. Chairman, Mr.
Yes.
Mayor, I have another motion, and the motion is that the city powers to be pursue a 50-50 cost sharing with Burns and McDonald, either design group or the project managers, I don't care which, both from the same company, but it's really the designer that was remiss in not anticipating a conflict here.
Mayor, that motion would not be in order because that particular item is not on the agenda. And it would require a 2/3 vote of the council to
Do it.
to change the agenda to add an item which we've not drafted, which
Okay.
would be a resolution to,
So we
it
can.
can't- I mean,
I'll
it's the
withdraw-
mayor's decision whether to do that, it's not the
I'll
council's.
withdraw the motion, we'll take it up at the
I
council.
mean, I think, you know, it's the mayor's decision whether or not he thinks administratively we need to pursue that. And of course, the council can authorize action, but it ultimately would be up to the mayor whether or not we took action, if that makes sense. But in setting it aside, your motion is not an item on the agenda, so
So,
that creates a
okay.
procedural issue.
All right. Withdraw.
Okay, do I need to read it again? or-
No, his resolution is
It's
adopted.
done.
Oh, okay.
So we're done,
So
right?
we're done.
Okay, so the meeting is adjourned. Once again, thanks for attending.
Yep.